is our second year of grazing deferred hill ground. We've just been strip grazing it in clumps forwards, generally ended up between 3 days in a week, depending on what that section of hill's like and other variables like weather. We learnt a lot more about our hill, that it probably has quite a short growing season. A lot of the grass up there is pretty unpalatable for the sheep that have been running it, and we've recognised some of the challenges that we've had with the sheep flock up there have just been more to do with the ground that they've been on, which had led us historically to bring a lot more inputs up onto the hill. So making more use of our hill without inputs seems like a really good sound option. They came in here New Year's Day, and they're going to get half their diet in hay, half their diet in grass. It's a new site, comes with a lovely view. There is shelter up here. The top of the field drops off down to by a wood there, so we weren't particularly worried about shelter for them. In future, it's closer to the hill as well, so if we do get bad spells of weather, it's a really nice safety net. Here we've got 60 mature cows till they'd been on deferred grazing on the hill. They were the cows that were in the best condition, a condition score 3 and above. When they went to the hill, I think all of them lost a little bit of weight up there, but it's been a really cheap way of getting them halfway through the winter. I suppose it assesses our genetics a bit. If they're not fitting the system, then they're probably, do you know what I mean? We can assess them that way. We'll bring them onto the bale grazing here, which should be a lot more stable for them, as half their diet is in hay, not just all of it in grass. We're moving, they're getting 3 bales a day and 5 meters of grass across the field, which at the moment they're slightly understocked. On here, we had 70 cows last year on the same allocation, so we'll probably, off the Westerwolds, we'll probably pull a few more cows into here. But in this field at the moment, we've got 45 more days of grazing for them, and yeah, that'll take us most of the lump way through the winter. I think we'll house them hopefully 4 to 6 weeks pre-calving, and then they'll have a more stable diet at that point, and we'll be able to we'll be able to just make sure they're in the right condition for calving, really.
It saves a lot of time. You can feed, well, we got 200 cattle outside. You can feed them with an hour and a half an hour each group, 3 groups. You chase them around with a bedding machine for a couple of hours alone, and then they mix a wagon. And they're much cleaner, they're much nicer to look out and see out outside. But no, it's good, I enjoy it.
We've got 50 days of allocation here. We've got 10 days left. I think it has worked in some really trying conditions. It's been very wet. Yeah, it's been a bit of an emotional roller coaster that way in times, but the cattle I think the cattle look great. After this, we'll reassess them in 10 days. We've got other batches of cows that are going to stay out, hopefully another at least 45 to 60 days. So the cows that have gained enough condition to go back out will go back out, and the heifers will come in at this point because they're probably looking the fittest, and we'll probably try and moderate their condition at that point. It's been great that we've started off with the permanent pasture. The permanent pasture is probably easier to look at on a bad day. I think the Westerwolds work great as I think big picture, it's part of more of our like grassland rotation, arable rotation in the in-by. So big picture wise, and it's giving us something for our leaner and younger cows that isn't quite as environmentally challenging as the deferred hill. So I think it has worked well. It's just, yeah, it has been a learning curve that way, just trying to work it out. And with those wet days, we've sometimes moved twice, which has sped everything up, but it's just kept the cattle moving and hopefully reduced any damage that they were incurring at the time. Nutritionally, our other option with these leaner cows and heifers was probably to put them into the shed a month ago, and it has been a nice option to just keep everything going that way. Cost savings wise, it's a lot cheaper for us to do it this way, but that's probably not the only reason. It's the reduced labour as well, and on a good day with all the outwintering, it is good, enjoyable work. And the cattle are fine. Even on a bad day, the cattle have remained really clean. They're not holding a lot of mud on them, and generally they're standing up on top of the ground and not plunging through it. And it'll be interesting to see what regrowth we get in the spring on this field that we can have a second bite at by something.
This is just our store cattle shed, just with our steers. So yeah, we just separated them, thinned them. With the cows being out, it's been able to slacken the sheds off, and we spread everything out everywhere, which is nice. They've all got their own groups, and it's a much airier shed now, definitely. When we first speined, there was all the store cattle in here, all of them, and you could tell they were just coughing a bit and they weren't quite doing. But with the cows going out, we've been able to spread them out, and they're looking much better for it, definitely. So we're saving £16 with having the cattle out on the hill, and then it'd be saving £10 with the cattle on the bale grazing. So it's a massive saving, huge saving, because it's time as well. I think time is the biggest thing you want to worry about. You save a lot of money, but time is crucial, I think, personally.